All right. Shoulders, name of the game today. We are going to be doing a lot of positional isometric today. So don't expect a lot of movement and hovers and lots of flowy arm movement. We're going to be very locked in positions and a lot of isometric drive, a lot of high tension today. So just be ready for that. For those of you who are going to be watching this recording later, you're going to need a pair of tennis balls, a pair of yoga blocks, and a PVC pipe or a chair, just something to hang on to. And actually, now that I say that, you are going to need like a broom or PVC pipe for some shoulder lift-offs towards the end of the class. So just a pipe to hang on to. So we're going to go ahead and start standing up. And you guys are going to need your tennis balls in hand and a yoga block between your legs to start. So the yoga block between the legs, just remember it's there. You're going to try to give it a constant squeeze the whole time. You don't need to try to just completely destroy the thing between your legs, but do give it some tension. We're going to start with the shoulder blades, arms by the side is how we're going to start this. So I think you guys have all done this one before, where we go in the shoulders, arms by the side. So I'll talk everybody through it. So remember, core is strong. We're trying not to arch through the back, so just so actually can be a demo for the video, if you turn sideways. When you pull backwards and retract, and then pull the shoulder blades down with that, try not to let the back arch. As we try to pull down, it's very common compensation. Try to keep the ribs tucked, core tight, all posture, all shoulder blades. Keep in mind, and the shoulder blades. So you can face back forward now. Actually, let's have you just stay sideways, just because they're watching from the side. So I'll have you spin back and forth probably 100 times. All right, so everybody else, we're going to get nice and tight with the tennis balls. Core is going to be strong. Feel like the block is strong between the legs. And start by pushing those shoulders forward into protraction is what this is called. And we're just going to hang out here for a second. I want you guys constantly trying to drive the fronts of those shoulders forward. And really feel that chest light up, feel the back kind of stretch, and now we're going to take that up into a shrug with that forward effort as much as you can. Take that as far as it will let you. If the neck gets crampy for some reason, don't force it, and now we're going to try to pull straight backwards with that high effort. Imagine there's a walnut way up high between the shoulder blades. We're going to try to crack that bad boy and drag the pieces down into the back pockets. As you get down to the bottom of that retraction with depression, you're going to reach through your knuckles, and you're going to really try to find the deep, deep stuff below the shoulder blades. And now we're going to push forward from the bottom. Take it as far as it'll go, and then we're going to shrug back up. Take it nice and high as we can get it, into the ears. Pull backwards at the top. Check those hands, everybody. They should be right in line with the hips. We don't want the hands going crazy. Pulling way back, crack that walnut up high, drag it down low. Tight core, don't lose it. Reach through the knuckles, drive down, find that deep back under shoulder blade stuff, and relax. Cool. So, since shoulder blades and shoulders are the name of the game, we're going to go through another version of that. This is one of my favorite ways to do it, but some people don't like this. Arms are going to be out and across. Ashley, you're going to face the camera now. So, everybody else, the goal here is we're moving in like this plane of motion. So think about arms going out, up, and in. So we're not going forwards or backwards here. This is called the frontal plane, technically, that we're staying in. So first, everybody grip their tennis balls. Remember that block between your legs. Give it a squeeze. And now I want you to pull. Imagine there's a walnut between the shoulder blades again, and just try to pull them together from back there. Now, I just saw you do it, Tracy. Don't let your stuff go forward, just straight together. Find the shoulder blades in the middle, and just kind of find that squeeze. And now I want you guys to think about, you're going to punch to the walls on either side of you. Reach through your knuckles, punch through. You're going to feel that stretchy, kind of nervy feeling maybe. If you do, don't force it too much. If your hands tingle, definitely don't force it too much. And now we're going to pull the shoulder blades right back together. Try to find that walnut between the shoulder blades. And now we're going to open back up again. Punch to the walls, to our sides. Reach through the knuckles. Really try to expand. Take a big breath into your chest as you reach. Exhale, reach for more. And now we're going to shrug up. And now we're going to pull together behind us with that up effort. And now we're going to try to pull down with everything squeezed together. And then we're going to open the hands up to the walls again, drive through the knuckles, big open, shrug back up, feel all that lovely stuff talk to you. Pull together at the top as best you can. Tall posture, find that squeeze up here, and then try to drag that down as much as you can, and we're going to reach for the walls one more time. Big reach out, big open, and relax. Cool. Very different way of moving the shoulder blades. A lot of the times you feel that tension and pull through the chest or maybe through the elbow. If you feel something through the elbow and the hand, that's a sign that the nerve that runs through there is probably partially trapped.
All the way to my thumb.
So that's called the median nerve. Median nerve, radial nerve, whatever you want to call it. It gets trapped around the elbow and then down here in the wrist. So if you're feeling thumb stuff, then there's something called a median nerve floss that you should ask me about after this, and I'll tell you how to do that. If you felt pinky, ulnar nerve is getting pinched somewhere on the elbow, also something we should look at. If it's up here in the shoulder, if it's up in the shoulder, then the median nerve is also getting trapped up in here. This is usually where it gets the nastiest, is up here. So if you felt any of that, remind me afterwards, and I will show you guys the flossing drills to mobilize the nerve itself. Cool?
Drills. Yeah, see that?
Drills.
Drills.
All right, so shoulder, going forward. One arm at a time today. Usually we do both at the same time. We're going to go one arm at a time. So I want your left arm just pinned to your side. It's just a part of your body. The right arm is going to be the one that we're going to focus on. So the right arm is going to be all the way turned up and out. So think about the bicep and the forearm and the hand all being rotated back, basically, as much as it can. You should feel some tension in the back of your shoulder from just doing that. Now from here, you're going to cut low across the body. Keep your torso crazy still and really fight to pull into your body. And you're going to feel some tension probably come through the chest and the shoulder. And now we're going to lead through the hand and the palm as we try to carve out this space across the body going up. It's going to get a little sticky as we come up to the top, and then you're going to really pull back at the top and find that big overhead flexion. Everybody think about their ribs as you're up here at the top. Pull back nice and far. Flex through the back of that shoulder. Try to pull back for more, and now we're going to corkscrew and spin through the whole arm as we reach behind us. Steven, slow down. As we come all the way around, and you're going to end up back at your hip. The whole time you're rotating or reaching around, you're trying to rotate that arm for more, all the way through. And really think about that rotation, guys. So as you go through, think about your brain and the bicep as much as you can, and try to just make the rotation slow, so you're doing and completing the rotation in sync with the entire global circle, whatever you want to think about that as. So make sure you don't get here and then all the rotation happens at one point, because you're going to be able to squeeze out more rotation as you go through. All right, so there's a lot more there than you probably think. Okay, so we're all at the hip, right? The hand should still be turned all the way around. The tennis ball's facing out away from us. So there you go. And now we're going to pull straight backwards. So pull through the hand, pull through the shoulder. And we're just going to maximize the extension here. So we're nice and tall. We're reaching through the hand towards the wall behind us. We're flexing the tricep in the back of the shoulder, trying to open up the front of the shoulder as much as we can. And then we're going to spiral out of that. And remember, think about that rotation growing as we go all the way through to the top. Once you get to the top, we're going to stay there. And we're going to reverse it from the top once we all get there. So now from here, we're going to pull straight back behind us. Find that flexion overhead, flex into that shoulder, try to pull it back for more, and then slowly start rotating through the bicep. And feel like you're trying to crank and turn that bad boy all the way through the shoulder. Envision the head of the upper arm bone in the joint. Picture it swiveling. And then you'll complete that as it comes all the way down to the hip. And we got one more extension going back. So pull straight backwards. Reach through the hand. Pull the shoulder backwards. Think about your shoulder blade. Try to flex into there and pull it back. Open that up. There you go. Big reach and rotate slowly as we come through. And then you'll carry it all the way up and overhead. And it will come all the way just straight back down once we get there. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Cool? So that was your right arm. So now pin the right arm to your side. And now we'll work the left side. Same way. Ball's going to be all the way turned out and up. So we're going to be out here. So you're going to be turned up on that side. There you go. Remember, we're trying to turn bicep, forearm, and hand. Everything is rotated out and up. Maximize that, and now carve low and across the body. Keep that elbow straight as you go across. And make sure your torso doesn't rotate with the arm. You're just moving the arm across as far as you can. Find that crampy inner shoulder, chest stuff. Fight into that a little bit more, and then keep carving up as we go all the way to the top. Everybody check their ribs as we start to go up to the top. Make sure we don't lose that posture. Once you get all the way up to the top, we're going to fight back for a little bit more. I want you to think about reaching slightly more to the ceiling on this side than you did on the other side, and see if you feel like you get better movement. And now we're going to start to rotate through the bicep and turn through the hand and the arm as we reach back and around, and slowly complete the biggest circle you can, working through your full range of motion. Once we all get back to our hip, I want you to make sure the shoulder and the hand go backwards at the same time on this one. So pull everything straight back. So you're going to open the shoulder, big extension through the arm. Rear shoulder and tricep should be hot. Feel that working. And if you flex the tricep harder, it will pull you farther, I promise. And now we're going to slowly corkscrew that bicep. Turn through the whole hand as we come all the way around, nice and slow. Take your time, carve it out, and really try to dissociate what the upper arm is doing from the joints, so you can think about that big swivel all the way through. We're all going to be up at the top. Once we all are straight up, we're going to pull backwards again, fight for that flexion. Everybody check their ribs. Pull back for more, big reach, flex, 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 and then we will start to corkscrew through the arm as we reach back again. Big rotation through. Take your time. Think about your torso. What is it doing? Keep that rotation going as best you can all the way until we get to the hip. Once we get there, we will extend one more time. Big reach back. Big extension. Open the shoulder up. Giant rotation as we go through it. Turn with the tennis ball. Turn with the bicep. Take it all the way through. Keep reaching backwards until you get all the way to the top, and then once you get to the top, you can control that chop down, straight down. Cool. All right, good job, guys. So from here, we're going to get rid of the tennis balls. Everybody grab their second yoga block. Ashley, have you seen anybody's name pop up here?
No. That was just Instagram.
Yeah, that's what that looked like. Cool.
You said grab both balls.
Yep, exactly. So we want one yoga block between the legs, one yoga block on the chest will be what we do. No, you got to do them again. Anytime I can get you to do bonus reps, it makes me happy. All right, so we're looking at the spine. The goal here is I want you guys to think about the upper half of your spine. So I'm going to use Ashley as an example, so I'm going to have her turn all the way. So normally when we do this, I let you guys roll around pretty far, and we go all the way around. Today I want you thinking about just this upper kind of half of your spine. So imagine everything from about this, we'll say middle rib cage. It's lower than that, but we'll say about middle ribs down should be trapped in cement, is what I want y'all to think about. So as you crunch, stand sideways now. So as you crunch forward, it's only an upper back opening is what you should feel. As you go to the side, it's going to be a very tight lateral shift, and then it's going to be a very tight extension as we go back, just so you guys can hear that cueing a little bit, and so you can prepare yourself. So Ashley, you can face forward now. All right, everybody else, we're going to go for real. So subtle tension between the legs, just enough to remind your hips to stay still. That block should be slightly lower on your chest than you think it needs to be, just slightly. And now we're going to tuck the chin down and let the chin tuck open our upper back. And I want you trying to find that kind of stretch through the upper back. And just kind of hang on to that for a second. Now from here, we're going to start by twisting to the right. So think about where the block is being held against your body and turn from there. Try to use all that upper back tissue and that upper spine and rotate with what you got. And think about upper back exclusively as much as you can. Now we're going to try to side bend only in that upper half. So that right shoulder is going to drop a little bit. We'll pull the right shoulder blade down just a bit. And then we're going to rotate backwards through that right side a little bit more, so a little more turn. And then we start leaning backwards. So it's like you're bending the rib cage open as you extend backwards, piece by piece, as much as you can. Lift your chest, lift your collarbones, keep the chin down as much as possible, which is crazy hard to do. Find that upper back as much as you can, and then you're going to rotate all the way around to the left. Keep extending up as you rotate as much as you can. Keep your brain up high in the spine. And then we're going to try to find that little side bend at the top. And then we're going to kind of tuck the chin harder and wrap that block up as we come back down and forward to where we started. And think about peeling the spine open piece by piece as we make our way back to that starting position. Now we're going to go again in reverse. So we're still wrapped up. Re-engage if you need to. Find that upper back opening. Keep the hips nice and still. And then we're going to rotate through to the left. Take it nice and far. Big twist. Remember, upper back focus as much as we can. And then we're going to bring that left shoulder down a bit. Pull the left shoulder blade a little bit, like you're trying to bend the spine to the left in the upper half. Rotate backwards just a hair more. And then we're going to start extending through that upper back as much as we can. So we'll lean backwards piece by piece. Try to lift the chest, try to lift the collarbones. Imagine you're flexing into the spine itself as we find that big extension all the way upright, nice and tall. Once you're all the way upright, get your rotation going to the right, twisting through the upper back as far as it'll let you go. And then we're going to find that side bend to the right in the high part of the spine, and then we're going to tuck and roll and wrap our yoga block back up as we complete our crunch going back forward. And once you guys complete that, you can relax. Cool. Nice. Good job. I know that's very slow cueing, but got to go slow. That was a good job, guys. So, Oh, always got to go slow, especially when you're here. All right, guys. So now we're going to go full spine. Everything. So you can get rid of your block now, and I want you to still keep the block between your legs so you can keep the hips still. I actually don't want you to have the block on the chest this time. As much as I like you guys to have that feedback, I don't want you to rely on it all the time. All right? So, same movement, but now we're going to get pretty much the whole spine involved. So the only thing I don't want you to do is as you crunch, I guess I'll stay like this so they can kind of see. As we crunch forward, don't bend at your hips. I don't want that. I want you to just open the spine itself. So your butt is tucked under and your glutes are squeezed the whole time you're going through. So it's only spine. As you twist, as you bend, and as you extend and roll all the way around. Okay? Now as far as your arms go, give yourself a hug, wrap up. Not a crazy bear hug, just enough to hang onto your shoulders. All right, chin stays on your chest the entire time we go through this. So begin to crunch and peel your spine open. Imagine as the chin tucks and you dive down, you're opening your spine from the top down, almost as if you're trying to find a stretch through the spine. Take it a little lower than you think it needs to go. You can probably bend a little bit more maybe. There you go. And now we're going to rotate to the left, turning through the chest and the shoulders, turning through the middle of the ribs, and turning through the lower back. But keep the hips still. From here, we're going to go right into the extension, leaning backwards. So we're going to think about low in the spine first, as we arch back slowly. And then we snake our spine into extension, trying to use one piece of spine at a time, ideally, as we go all the way up. As you come up to the upper back, lift your elbows a little bit so you can find a little bit more contraction up in the upper, and then we're going to twist all the way around to the right. So you're just going to turn through. No side bend, just rotation. Big twist all the way through. Hips stay nice and still. Turn the chest, turn the middle of the ribs, turn the lower back, and then we're going to start to crunch down again from that far right side and just make our way back forward fairly slowly. And then we will go again. So stay down in your crunch, keep it all locked up. Open the spine a little more than you think, and then we rotate to the right. Turn with the shoulders, turn with the chest, turn with the middle of the torso, turn with the lower half of the torso, And then we're going to start extending from the back. So lean backwards with the lower back, lean backwards with the middle lower back, lean backwards with the collarbone or with the shoulder blade section of the back, and then let the collarbones and the chest lift and come backwards as well. Then we take the rotation all the way to the left from the top, twisting through the chest, then through the ribs, then through the lower back. And then we tuck the chin and we crunch and we just kind of take our bodies forward, back to where we came from. And once you get there, you can relax. Cool? All right, so we're going to go to the ground next, and we're going to get deeper into the shoulders. So let's see. We're going to, can you do the side lying sleeper stretch?
Yeah.
Or does it go numb on you like it used to? Have you tried it in a while?
Last time we did it, I was able to do it.
Okay, so let's do that. Side lying sleeper stretch is what we're going to do. So I'm going to let you, you're going to need a ball in the hand that's on the ground. So Ashley will kind of show you guys what this base position. Yep, so block for a pillow, tennis ball in your hand, and you're going to be side lying. Huh? We'll just get set. I know the yoga block is not the best pillow, so we're just going to try to make do here. So I'll walk around, everybody here, I'm going to walk around and adjust you guys, but I'm going to talk about it first. So we want the bottom arm that's on the ground to feel like it's kind of shooting straight out of the shoulder in front of us. So think 90 degrees. We want the shoulders stacked on top of each other. So you should feel like you're very upright with your shoulder posture. And I want you to pull that shoulder underneath you a little bit. There you go. So stacked shoulders, and I want the hips stacked on top of each other as well, as much as they can be. If you want to bend the knees, you can bend the knees. That'll help give you a better base. And everybody, when you're laying on your side, try to pull the shoulder towards your hip, that shoulder that's on the ground. Try to sink it down a little bit, and then find a comfortable place for it to sit from there. I just don't want you guys shrugged up into your ear while you're laying there. So the top hand is going to grab the wrist of the arm that's on the ground. So you're going to get rid of that second tennis ball. So you're going to hang, this hand is going to go to that wrist.
Okay.
And you're going to be like this.
Okay.
So now you're hanging onto your wrist. Troy, bend your elbow to 90 degrees on that bottom arm.
So bring your hand up.
All right, so this is a very detailed setup, so I'm going to try to help you guys as best I can. So flip your grip so your hand's on top over here. So from here, we're going to push this bottom wrist down to the ground, and we're going to find a stretch on the back side of the shoulder. And it's like you're bringing your wrist to your belt buckle, is what I want you to think about. So we're going to be here, and then you're going to push down like that. Go slow, because it's going to start pulling pretty quick through the back of that shoulder, and feel like it's coming towards you more than anything. Once you find a stretch, I want you to just hang out there for a second. We want to get the stretch intensity to about a 6 or a 7 out of 10, as much as we can. Take a big breath in and a big breath out, and try to relax deeper into the stretch. And then we'll do that again. Take a big breath in, big breath out, relax the shoulder, try to open it up. Everybody looks good so far? All right, so we're going to do one more breath in, one last breath out. At the end of that exhale, I want you to sniff in some air and begin to brace your core. So now the core's got to be strong. So flex from your core, and now flex into the shoulder that's on the ground. So now your top hand is going to block what the bottom arm is going to do. So hang on tight with the top hand and begin pushing the bottom hand up into the top one very lightly. Maybe 20% effort to start. And as you do that, you should feel the back of that shoulder light up. And we're just going to hang out there lightly. And now we're going to slowly increase the effort of the bottom hand pushing into the top one. And I want you to slowly make your way up to your safest, comfortable effort, whatever that is. If it's 50%, if it's 80%, whatever you're willing to work with. And we're going to hang out there for just a few more seconds. Grip that tennis ball in that hand and produce more tension. And now I want you to grab tight with that top hand. Wrap up your wrist really strong. And now you're going to try to rotate the bottom hand towards the ground, but the top hand is going to not let that happen. So try to pull that tennis ball towards your belt buckle. The top arm is hanging on nice and tight. You should be flexing into your armpit, and you should be feeling some inner weird shoulder stuff as you try to make that happen. We're going to keep working that as much as we can. Your elbow needs to be here. We're going to keep working that, and now we will relax. Everybody take a big breath in and try to push your wrist to the ground, and it should go lower. Maybe just a little bit. And normally I like to go through 2 to 3 rounds of this, but today we're just going to do that one round. So now I want you guys to go flat on your back. We're just going to move right over. And you can get rid of that tennis or that yoga block as your pillow. Not going to want that. So keep that elbow at 90 degrees, and I want that fist pointed towards the ceiling. So from right here, shoulder blade, pull it back and lock it in place. You can do both of them so you can try to keep some symmetry. We're only going to work that right or left side, right? Left side is what we're all, no, right side? Left. Troy, you on your right side? That's fine. So some of us are off, that's fine. Okay, so the shoulder blade on the tennis ball hand, make sure that's trapped in place. And now we're going to start to rotate the hand down towards the ground. And you're going to take it as far as it will let you without the shoulder blade coming off the ground. Some of you may possibly hit the ground with your hand.
What if I feel it pulling my elbow?
Then turn your hand to a neutral position.
Oh, that's worse.
So then drop your elbow down lower, closer to your body.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay. You just got to keep the shoulder pinned to the ground. You only work with what it'll allow you to do. So from there, we're going to rotate all the way backwards. So pull it all the way back to the ground behind you, like you're going to pull the back of your hand to the ground. And most of us will probably hit the ground or get very close to it. Once you get there, I want you to keep pulling into the ground. The back of that shoulder should light up. You should feel it working pretty deep. You're going to fight for more there. The core is strong. The shoulder is flexed. The elbow is flexed. And you're gripping that tennis ball tightly as you drive that entire arm down into the ground. And now we're going to begin to rotate back forward. So we're turning straight through the shoulder joint, trying to rotate the bicep down towards the ground, keeping the shoulder blade pinned back and down, trying to screw the arm in as we take it as low as it will let us go, and we don't want any shrug. Only what the shoulder will let us do. And wherever your end range is, that's where you're going to fight for it. And we're going to drive as much as we can, and then we're going to rotate backwards again. Take the back of that hand all the way back and into the ground. Take it as far as possible. Once you hit the ground, if you hit the ground, you're going to fight for more. Pull your imaginary watch into the ground, squeeze the tennis ball, squeeze the back of your shoulder. The core and ribs should be strong. And you're going to keep fighting that for another 3, 2, and relax. Cool. Now we're going to do all that on the other side. So you'll flip over or move on to your opposite side, whatever side that is. And we'll get set up. So grab your yoga block for your pillow. You're just going to need that tennis ball on the arm you're laying on. Now, did anybody's arm go numb, by the way, on the last, when we were sideline originally? Anybody feel any tingling at all? No? Everybody good? Cool. So I will say, on the last class, you guys heard my lovely comment about how I feel about tingling and numbness. So on the arm, sometimes it's a little different. Sometimes you can change, rather than getting and bailing out of the position completely, sometimes you just need to move your shoulder around or just lightly rotate your wrist in one direction or the other, and you can change blood flow. If that happens to anybody, just let me know, and we'll talk about it. Okay, so your shoulders are stacked on top of each other. Your hips are stacked on top of each other. Your core is tight, and your elbows at 90 degrees on the bottom arm. So I'm going to bring that to 90. Bring it up to about there. And actually bring the whole shoulder down if we can. So you're going to go like that. There you go. And now you're going to push your hand down towards your belt buckle using that top arm. So top arm grabs the wrist, push it down to your waistline, and make sure the hand comes in towards you as it goes down. If the arm falls out away from you, it's going to completely change what we're going for. So get to your best, safest stretch. And then I want you to take a big breath in, exhale, try to relax that tension. And we'll do that again. Take a big breath in, exhale, try to relax. And we'll go again. Breathe in, exhale, and relax. I'm going to try and bring you a little bit more over. There you go. And one more breath in, one more exhale. And at the end of that exhale, sniff in some air. Brace the abs. Core is strong. Body is nice and statue-like. And now you're going to grab nice and tight with the top hand, and you're going to start to push your bottom hand up into that at a low effort. So there should be no movement, but you should be feeling the back side of the shoulder on the ground getting nice and hot. We're trying to flex through that rotator cuff on the back side, and now I want you slowly increasing your drive into your own hand to your safest, greatest effort. Whatever that is. We're not trying to max out, but we're trying to work, that's for sure. So once you get to that threshold, we're going to get there. We're going to squeeze the tennis ball in the hand a little bit tighter. We're going to fight for just a little bit more. And now you're going to grab that wrist crazy tight with the top hand, and you're going to try and pull out of it with the bottom hand. But there should be no movement. So now you're trying to pull the tennis ball to the ground, but the top hand is not letting that happen. You're flexing into your armpit, into your inner shoulder stuff, into your elbow and your wrist, consciously, constantly fighting for more effort and better connection to that tissue. We're going to keep working that effort for another 4, 3, 2, and relax. Take a breath in, breath out, and then you should be able to push that wrist lower to the ground than it was before. Looks like everybody got a pretty good improvement there. And then we'll make our way onto our back again from there. Right arm is sore?
Yeah.
Is that from anything we did, you think? Or
I think it's a combination between that and just training right.
yeah. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it sharp at all, or you just feel it really good? Okay, cool. All right. Okay, so arm is at 90 degrees. That fist is pointing at the ceiling. The other hand is just to your side, however you want to put it. Remember that shoulder blade on the arm we're about to work. Pack it underneath you. Lock it in place. Core is nice and strong. And then we're going to start by turning the tennis ball down to the ground. Rotate as much as it'll let you. And we don't want that shoulder to come off the ground. So it's only what the arm will allow you to rotate with. And as you get to that in-range barrier, you're going to flex deep into the joint, and you're going to try and create more connection to that tissue, just as much as it will allow. And then we're going to rotate backwards and change direction. Screw the bicep into the joint as you turn. Take it as far as it'll go. Try to pull your imaginary watch into the ground and fight for that. Pull from the wrist into the ground. Don't just hit the knuckle on the ground. Take it deep. Flex the back of the shoulder. Flex the elbow. Flex the hand. Everything. Find all that lovely tension on the back side. And now we're going to change directions and go back into our internal rotation. That shoulder blade is still staying trapped down. We're not letting the shoulder come off the ground. We're only working with what it will allow us to do. We're going to challenge that in range a little bit. We're going to squeeze the tennis ball just a little bit tighter. And then we're going to rotate backwards again, pulling all the way down into the ground. Pull the wrist into the ground. Flex the back of the shoulder. Flex the elbow. You good? Keep working it. Keep trying to pull for it. Fight for more drive into the ground on this last one. And then we're going to turn the wrist all the way back down again. I said last one. You have one more. I lied. You're going to keep turning down. Remember, don't let the shoulder jump. Just screw the upper arm into the joint. Try to pull that back. Hold on, reset. Come back to right here. Pull the shoulder blade. There you go. Now rotate. And fight for that in range a little bit more than you think you need to. And change directions. We're going to finish with the external rotation going back to the ground. Pull the wrist into the ground. Screw the arm in. Think about actually trying to screw it into the joint. Fight for it a little bit more than you think you need to. Flex the shoulder, flex the wrist, flex everything, and relax. Cool. Good job, guys. All right, so now we're going to flip face down, but I want you guys to check out Ashley as we get this set up. So you're going to do the yoga blocks standing up, bar going down. And you know what? Now that we're getting this set up, you guys are going to actually need 2 more yoga blocks each. So, gotcha.
There we go.
All right. So, for those of you at home, I know most people don't have 4 yoga blocks. Towels will be just fine as props to raise your arms up. So Ashley, you can take just because you have the option, take the gray ones, and those are going to be under your elbows. And then the tan ones are going to be stood upright for your wrists to sit on. So I'll have you guys, you're going to be laying face down. You're going to be laying about like this, face down. Blocks under the elbows, and then the other blocks will be up to raise the wrists. And this is going to put us in an externally rotated position. And you're actually not going to use your PVC pipe here, but you can keep it handy because you will be using it very soon. So this is kind of a funky position to get into. I will say your head is probably, and your head and neck is probably only going to be so comfortable. Probably about right there, because I want you to be able to push through the wrist to kind of get better activation. All right, so I recommend holding on to a tennis ball in your hand. I know you guys they might not be very close to you. Steven, I'll hand you yours. Nope, you're getting them. I'll make you work harder. There you go, they're right next to you. Okay, so ideally what we're going for here is just laying down there. In a perfect world, you're going to be feeling kind of a stretch in your chest just laying here, possibly, or in your shoulders just laying here. So here, just bring the head down for a second, and I'll adjust you. So we're going to bring this arm to about there, and then that's going to be there. So we're trying to kind of get a little bit of a stretchy type feeling through the shoulder. And then here, I'll get you adjusted. It's a little picky to say the least. All right, so don't sit there too long. Just the left one. If you need to shake it out real fast. Okay, so everybody's somewhat comfortable here. So you guys see what the position is. It makes sense so far. Okay, so first things first, we're going to get right into this. You guys are going to sniff in some air. You're going to brace your core. You're going to give those tennis balls a squeeze. You're going to brace through your arms. And I want you to start lightly driving your wrist down and into those blocks. Lightly. No more than 20% effort. You are not allowed to go higher than that. As you're trying to turn down, you're thinking about flexing into the shoulder joint as you try to turn down. And we're making sure that the shoulders do not attempt to shrug at all. A lot of the time as we're here and we go to turn down, we want to shrug. Do not let that happen. Now we're going to very subtly and softly change directions, and you're going to attempt to lift backwards and pull off the blocks. Some of you may lift off the blocks, some of you may not. Your elbows stay on the blocks that are on the elbows, but you're trying to pull off of the ones that your hands are on, if you can. No more than about 40% effort on this one. Naturally, we end up working harder here. And now we're going to relax and ease off of that. If you have any tingling or numbness, I want you to shake your hands out for a moment. And we're going to get ready and go through for round 2 and round 3 on this one. And we're going to build up intensity every time. So we're going to get set again. Right into it. Elbows on the blocks, wrists on the blocks. Stiffen some air. Lock your abs in place. Flex your butt. Flex your legs. Your entire torso is now a nice strong statue. And you're going to drive the tennis balls down and into your blocks. 20% effort or so to start, and we're going to ramp it up to 40%. And then we're going to ramp up to 50%. And now from here, I want you to ramp up to your safest, greatest effort, as if you were going to try and smash those tennis balls through the blocks. You're flexing deeply through the shoulder joints. Your shoulder blades are trapped in place. All the effort is only in that shoulder joint. at least as much of it as you can control. Ramp up until you absolutely think you got nothing left. And now we're going to lock the body in even harder as we change directions and try to rotate backwards off the blocks. This one you're going to pretty much ramp straight up into close to a max effort as you try to pull them back as far as they'll get. Butt is tight, core is strong. If you feel your lower back or your middle back, you're pulling from the wrong place. It should be all arms. Fight for more. Crush the tennis balls. Flex the elbows. Flex the shoulders. Attempt to create motion that you probably don't think is there for another 3, 2, and relax. Again, if there's any tingling or numbness, shake the arms out for a second. You can bring them down. And we do have one more round of this, and I do want you to try to go harder on the next one. Or if you got anything nasty in the shoulders, then find a threshold that's safe. All right. Dead Ashley, are you ready to go? I know, you just look like a dead body on the ground. It was funny. All right, everybody ready? Sniff in some air. Lock the core. Brace the butt. Brace the legs. Everything is strong. Tuck your ribs a little bit harder on this one. It's going to feel funky, but do your best. I recommend forehead on the ground, by the way, if you can. And start driving the tennis balls down. 20%, nice and light. And take that to 40%. The shoulder, the elbow, the wrist, the back, everything is working together. Take that to 60%, and to 70, and to 80, and to your safest, greatest effort, flexing through every piece of tissue in your upper body, your whole body. Even flex your feet to make your upper body work harder. I know it sounds crazy, but do it. Fight for more for 3, 2, 1. Keep the body completely locked in and change directions as you try to pull the tennis balls off the blocks. Think about the shoulder joint. Screw in the shoulders as you turn back as much as you can. Think about those biceps trying to rotate backwards and point towards the ceiling. Flex the back of your shoulders as much as you can. Elbows are tight. Back's tight. Everything's working harder for 3, 2, and relax. And you guys can come off of that, shake your arms out for a second. Cool. Looked like everybody increased their liftoff every round, which was awesome. Tracy, I don't even think your wrist didn't come up the first one, did they? Cool. That last one, you had about that much clearance off the blocks. Cool. So what we're doing here, just so you guys know, these positional isometrics, the goal is to enhance the workspace, actually open that up. And then the next few drills we do are going to help lock that into the system so you guys can have better, more open shoulders for longer than just a stretch or longer than just a, hey, let's massage this kind of thing. Just trying to ingrain a good pattern. So you are still face down. I know Ashley just got up. Now you're going to replace your PVC pipe, or replace your tennis balls for your PVC pipe. And we're still in the same setup. Okay? So now we're going to focus on the lift offs, since everybody was able to produce that. And if you're watching this at home and you didn't lift off, you're still going to do the same thing even if you didn't lift off. And now that I say that, the last piece I'm going to add to that is if you're doing this at home and you didn't lift off, you're going to drop your block down to a level 2. So this is technically level 3, so you're going to lower it so you can lift off. All right? But everybody here was good, so you guys all stay where you're at. All right. So from here, sets of 10. Get excited. Yep, 10 sets of 10. No, I'm just kidding. That would be disgustingly brutal. I like you guys more than that. Okay, so core is strong. Sniff in some air. Tuck the ribs. Squeeze the butt. Legs are tight. Begin to give that bar a nice little squeeze. And start to pull off your blocks. Elbows stay down on the blocks. Float the wrists. Pull them back. And if you want to, you can think about pushing your hands like you're going to try to bend the bar. That might help you find more tension. And now we're going to let it come back to the blocks. You're going to barely touch, and you're going to go right back for number 2. Lift, rotate. Flex the shoulders. Create that lift off. Find the connection. Down, tap. Back up for number 3. Pull those wrists back behind us. Pull the knuckles back behind you. Flex deeply through the entire arm and bring it down. And lift again for number 4. Now, normally I tell you not to rev your wrist like a motorcycle, but I want you to rev on this one. I want you to bend the wrist backwards. And that's going to help you flex the top of the arm, which should actually help you create more connection to the back of the shoulder. And now come down, tap and up for 5. We'll speed it up from here. Fight for more range, down. Tap for and come up for 6. Fight for it, down. Tap and up for 7. And down. Open your hands up. There you go. And lift for number 8. Pull back, pull back, pull back. Fight for more. Down. Tap up for 9. Fight for it, y'all. Fight for it. Down. Tap. Last one. Number 10. Everything you got. Crank it way back. Way back. Look at all that range of motion. Everybody opened up like crazy. And down. Relax. Cool. Shake your hands out if you need to. Awesome. If you want to sit up for a moment, you can. We'll give you all a second to shake all that out. Actually, let's stand up for a second. I want you guys to feel something. Just because I like doing this stuff. So, you might not exactly remember fully what that arm felt like as we were doing the warm-ups in the beginning, those cars in the beginning, but we're going to briefly revisit it, and I want you guys to see if you feel more open as we're up overhead. So, bring your left arm, trap it to the side of your body, and then we're just going to bring that right arm straight up. And we're just going to focus on the flexion here overhead as you pull backwards. So you're thinking about 2 things here. 1, do you feel like you can contract that tissue that pulls you back better? And 2, do you feel like it's farther than it was before? Ideally, we check both of those boxes from where we started. And now I want you to flex into the elbow a little bit harder, and I want you to pull back a little bit more and see if for some reason you get a little bit more out of it. If you do, congratulations, everything worked. If you didn't, we just need to get more reps in. All right, you can relax. Other side, same thing. Everybody looked like they improved. Everybody looked pretty solid. So exact same thing. Trap that right arm to your side. Pull that left side up. Pull into that flexion. Flex the back of the arm. Flex into the elbow. See if you feel better connection to the tissue. See if you feel like you're going farther. Everybody looks like they've gained at least 10 degrees from where we started. And relax. Tracy, you got a little bendy on that last one. All right, so you're back on the ground again. And this time our arms are going to be out in front of us. So you're going to ditch the blocks that were under your elbows, and we're going to lower the blocks that we were using before to a level 2 base. So you're just going to lay them horizontally down 1 level. So you guys want them like Ashley's right here. So you guys are going to stack them, bend them, or turn them up for 1 more. That's ideally where I want you. And we're probably going to end up going to the level 3 setting or level 3 position after this, but we're going to start here. Okay, so real quick, just so we get a reminder of how we're going to do this, Ashley's going to demo.
Straight arm?
Straight arm, yep. So we're not just going to lift off, we're going to drive down first and then lift off. Now, before you guys who are in here get too into your position, I really want y'all to hear my cues here. So the body's going to be nice and locked in like we normally do. So we'll sniff in air, we'll trap everything in place. The elbows have to stay straight here as we do this, okay? So we want strong wrists and strong elbows, and we're going to right arm pull into the blocks. And you must start light. Some of our shoulders do not like this at all. So sometimes 10% is all you got, which is fine. If you have more, you'll push with whatever you can produce, and then we're going to try to lift up from there. And we're going to go back and forth from there. So just like on the other side, we'll do a drive down to a lift up, drive down to lift up for 2 cycles, and then we'll just go 10 lift offs. Okay? Cool. All right. So on this one, I recommend forehead on the ground. It's just going to help keep the neck in a better spot. Talking to you.
I know, but if I need that, the chest doesn't touch.
So put the forehead down and just try to keep the chest as low as it'll let you. I'm okay with this. I know how your body works. All right, get excited. Okay, so sniff in some air. Pack your core. Legs are strong, butt's tight. Elbows are fully extended. Wrists are strong. And now I want you to start pushing the arms straight down into your blocks at a low effort. And feel like you're kind of flexing into the armpits and into the lats as you pull that straight arm pull down. And I want you to ramp up to your safest, greatest effort as you keep building tension and you keep driving down for more. Listen to your shoulders, listen to your lower back and your spine. Don't pull with your spine. Keep it braced, pull with your arms. Keep driving down for more, ramp it up if you can, and now grip that bar nice and tight, and we're going to try and lift it up. So switch our effort and try to pick that bad boy up. As you lift, your elbows must stay straight as much as they'll let you. And keep fighting that lift, keep the core strong, and bring it down. Take a little mini break for a second. If you need to shake your hands out, you can. Sometimes they get a little cold as you're up overhead. And we're going to go again. Sniff in some air. Brace your core. Keep everything nice and strong. And we're going to start driving down into the blocks again. Squeeze the bar a little tighter this time. Flex your triceps, flex your shoulders, flex your lats, flex your core, flex your chest, flex your butt, your legs, your feet. We're using the whole body on this one. We're going to drive down for more effort, as clean and safe as we can. Maximize that for another 3, 2, 1, and we're going to try to float that bad boy up to the sky again. Flex into the shoulder blades, into the upper back, squeeze the butt, flex your core, crush the bar in your hands. Keep working that effort, fight for more, and relax. Bring it down. All right, shake your hands out if you need to. Cool. All right, so now the fun part, 10 lift-offs. All right, these are going to be done a little faster. So real quick, before we start killing this, I want you guys to try and hold the tension in your arms every time. So what I mean by that is don't bring the bar down to the blocks and completely relax every time. I want you to feel like, imagine you have a gauge in your brain, like a scale of how hard you're flexing. So you're going to peak that gauge as you lift up, and you're just going to ease off the gas as it comes down, but you're not letting go completely. So there's constant connection to the tissue. All right? So hands are on the bar, get set for real, sniff in air, lock your core, brace everything, and 3, 2, 1, lift it up. Big lift, fight for it, and bring it down slowly, tap, and re-engage. Back up for 2. Fight that lift, squeeze out some more, down, tap, up for number 3. Good. Strong elbows, guys. Everybody looks good. Down, tap, up for 4. Now reach for the wall in front of you. Punch for the wall. Superman punch. And down, tap, up for 5. Don't lose it. Everybody's got it. Down, tap, up for 6. Fight for more. Squeeze with all your fingers. Down, tap, up for 7. Fight for more. Easy down, tap, up for 8. Core tight, down, tap, up for 9. Keep the feet and toes on the ground. Down, tap, number 10. Last one, best one. Fight for it for 3, 2, 1. Relax. Good job, guys. All right, you can sit up for a second. Let's shake everything out. How'd that feel? Everybody good? Feels?
So much better than the first time.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can tell.
Yours jumped up a lot. I think that was about rep 5 or so. It looked like there was this new switch that turned on, and you just pulled another probably 10 degrees or so.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
My shoulders are terrible, so it was good.
Yeah, that was nice. Sometimes you just got to unlock it. Sometimes it just takes this type of repetition, and then all of a sudden your brain's like, oh, I have that.
Well, when you said flex through the triceps, that like as soon as I started doing that, I gained an inch.
Nice.
I was like, oh.
So one of the reasons, and it's not typically how the tricep works, but there is a piece into the tricep that connects to the shoulder blade. So usually if you can figure out how to build those mind-muscle connections, even though we all think of the tricep as this or this, if you flex it, you can make it do things it's not technically supposed to do by definition. But I mean, the bicep, a lot of people think the bicep isn't doing anything here. Bicep's working through this entire crazy range of motion. So, yes it does. So there's all kinds of weird ways you can make the tissue work. It's just about your intent and your muscle connection. So let's everybody okay being on their knees for a second? On both knees? Okay, so we'll be up on both knees. Grab your tennis balls in your hands. And we're just going to sit here for a bit. We're just going to kind of put the shoulders back together before we move on to more. No block. No block. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so both a double arm version of the full shoulder car is what we're doing, okay? So, core is tight. Tuck the butt underneath you. Lock those cheeks in place. Straight elbows. Lock them out and drive up and overhead. Now, once we come up to the top here, we're going to add a little extra to this, and I want you to turn the tennis balls to face behind you, and I want you to feel like you're pulling through the biceps as you try to pull backwards, which should just feel lovely as you do that. And now we're going to try to rotate like we usually do as we corkscrew the arms and we reach back behind us. Go slow. You should have some new range of motion there, and try to take advantage of that. Slow it down. Pull backwards. Big extension. Don't fall forward. Pull the shoulders back. Open the chest up. Imagine there's a walnut between your shoulder blades as you pull the arms back. Try to make all that stuff work. And then big corkscrew through the biceps as we come back and around. Keep reaching for that wall behind you as you complete the movement coming up. Stay overhead once we get there. From here, everybody take a big breath in. Hard exhale. Feel those ribs tuck. Pull back harder, and then rotate and complete another rep. And if you want to, you can take another breath partially through that and get that ribs to tuck harder, but that's crazy hard. I'm not going to worry about that. Once you're all the way back down to the hips, we're going to tuck the ribs again. Make sure we're all locked in place. Pull the shoulders back. Pull the shoulder blades back. Crack that walnut between the shoulder blades. Extend for more, lots of tricep, and corkscrew out. Keep reaching backwards as you maximize that rotation as we come all the way up and overhead. Nice, looks good, looks good. And then you guys can bring them down and relax. Good stuff, y'all. Very nice. All right, cool. We still have so much time left. I'm excited. Don't look at the clock. Ignore that. 75 minutes. So we have 15 minutes left. We got about one more drill and one more deload exercise and we're done. So now we get to do our swimmer hovers. Save them for the end because they're my
You said I have on recording that you weren't doing those.
You're going to do them.
You can shake your little butt all you want.
So we're not doing a lot of these. We're doing these because I want you to, since we've done so much shoulder specific, we got to get a little integration with the shoulder blade. We're not going to do like a set of 6 of these like we did the other day. We're not going to be crazy. We're just going to do a few. And by a few, I mean 3. I'll actually give you a number. I'll be nice. All right, so we're going to start with the hands behind the back. And we want our hands overlapped on top of each other. And we want blade hands as we're here. So first things first, sniff in some air, core is tight, the forehead is down, the legs are strong, elbows pull to the ceiling, pull the shoulder blades back and together, and now we're going to float the hands off the back. We're going to extend our arms and flex the elbows as our arms get long and straight. And now we're going to corkscrew through the arms and bring them up and overhead. And as you come up and overhead, we're thinking straight arms, and we're going to reach for that wall in front of us, as if we're going to try to stretch out the armpit tissue as much as we can. And now we're going to reverse it from here. So we're going to rotate the other way. We're going to reach back behind the back. We're going to go as high as we can to the ceiling and then break the elbows and try to land those hands on the low back as high as we can get them. And then you guys can relax your arms for just a moment. And we're going to go again. Sniff in some air, lock the core, elbows up, shoulder blades together, float the hands, extend the elbows, reach up and rotate as they come overhead. And on this one, they're going to come all the way overhead, and we are going to break the elbows and let the hands land behind the neck as low as we can get them. Let the elbows hit the ground for just a moment. And again we go. Float the elbows up. Squeeze those shoulder blades. Find some tension. Now try to float the hands clean off the neck and extend the arms straight overhead. Keep lifting up to the sky as we rotate all the way around. and we bring those hands behind the back, and then we're going to set them down. And that's where we're going to relax from there. Cool. And relax. See, I told you I wasn't going to be ridiculous. Just just a little bit. Okay, so now I want to get into that thoracic spine lat stuff that I mentioned on Wednesday and that I said we would do today. So you're going to be on a knee for this one. So you guys are going to be here. The front leg is going to be the direction we're rotating to. So there's some very specific cues here that are going to allow this to work the best. So one, I want you to actually think about a little bit of knee over toe as we're here. Just a little bit. So just bring the foot in more so that way your resting position is more here rather than like being here. Just a little bit. And all that's going to let us do is get more into the lateral ball of the foot, or more that outside ball of the foot when I give you guys the cue to drive down, which will help get this connection I want. So from here, we're going to turn the chest towards that front thigh, and then you're going to take this left hand, which you're going to think you're holding a pizza, and you're going to pull the elbow down into your butt cheek on that side. And you're going to keep the chest up. So it's a big drive down with a chest rotation, and this other hand will be going up as you do that. So lots of crazy cues here. And I'm going to make you hold on to that contraction longer than you think you need to. Do what? Oh yeah, this will be fun. Come on. Okay, so everybody make sure their left foot is forward. And then get that little, bring the foot back underneath you just a little bit more than you think you need to. So Troy, I think you might actually need to come forward a little bit on yours, just a hair, probably about there. And let's see, let me check from the side. Yeah, so right there is perfect. Stay right there. Okay, cool, don't fall over. All right, so from here, everybody, let's go ahead, and it's going to feel goofy, but we're going to have the left arm in the pizza position, and the right arm is going to be up. Now from here, you're going to turn your chest to the left as far as you can rotate without falling. All right, so now the left elbow is going to pull down and back into your tailbone is a good way to think about that. Left elbow. So your hands are backwards. So your
hand is the same hand as the front knee.
Pizza, yeah, there you go. So you're pulling that elbow down on the left side as you're driving your right hand up. And what you're trying to do is pull the shoulder blade and the elbow into your tailbone, and you're going to feel that deep contraction through the back tissue. You're going to rotate for a tad bit more and try to crank the elbow for more. See if you can find that deep squeeze in there. And now you're going to turn your chest forward, and then I want you to drive that left hand that was just compacted up and pull the other side down. You're just facing forward now and you're switching. So we're just opening up that side we packed. And then pizza hand goes up. Oh. All right? And then we'll relax for just a second. Cool. You're not rotating all the way around. You're just facing forward. Okay, so kind of weird, right? Did you feel that deep lat in there? Okay. So we're going to do that again on the same side. And all I want you trying to do is, in the last cue I'm going to give you is the relation of wrist to elbow. I really want it to try to be as straight down as you can. A lot of the times we do this. As you internally rotate, you lose your lat and you end up pulling with your internal rotator cuff, your subscapularis, if you want to be fancy, is what you end up pulling with, and actually your chest kicks in. So you got to be way back as you pull down to get the lat appropriately. Otherwise, we're just losing that little sweet spot. Okay? Same leg is forward. Get your pizza hand ready. Get the tall hand ready. Turn your spine towards that front leg. Rotate as far as you can. And on this one, turn through the chest, the middle of the ribs, and the lower back. Try to really get a big rotation there. And now, crank the pizza hand down. Pull that elbow into your tailbone. Feel that deep lat. Pull the shoulder blade down with it. Your chest is almost trying to go up as that side tries to crank down. Drive through the straight arm to the ceiling as you pack that left side down. Maximize that contraction, fight for more, and now slowly turn yourself forward, switch your pizza hand going up, drive the other side down, open up the side that was tight, really reach through the palm, and then you can relax. Cool. All right. And now we'll switch sides, because if I left you on one side, you'd be walking around in circles. So one of the reasons we're doing this, by the way, and one of the reasons you want to find that deep lat is because the lats actually help stabilize your entire torso, and they help with locomotion and how we naturally rotate as we walk. So if we can get this stuff to contract deep down in here, it actually allows the spine to be more fluid as it moves. Now, you might be really sore from this now, but as we build up capacity for this, your spine becomes very happy over time. All right? So, right leg is forward. Right side is your pizza hand. Left side is now the straight hand. All right. So from here, turn your chest to the right. Turn through the chest, turn through the ribs, turn through the lower back as much as you can. And now that elbow goes towards the tailbone. The shoulder blade goes down and towards the tailbone. We're staying tall through the chest. We're driving through our straight right arm as we pack the right side as much as we can. We're going to hang on to that, fight for a little bit more, and we're going to turn forward now and switch our hands. Get our little seesaw motion. Pizza hand changes, straight arm drives up. Drive hard through what was the pizza arm, big reach, and relax. Cool, come off of that. All right. And we'll do one more round on the other side, guys. No, we got one more.
I don't want to be uneven.
We got one more. Trust me, you do not want to be uneven for this one. You do not want to be uneven for this one. All right. You know, you have lots of things you could throw at Steven at any time. Okay, ready. So, pizza hand, get set, right side. Left arm is up. Don't fall. Turn towards the right. Turn the chest, turn through the ribs, turn to the lower back. Keep those legs nice and strong on the ground as you're doing all this. And the elbow goes into the tailbone. The shoulder blade goes back and deep. Try to pull the fingers back a little bit more on this. Yeah, there you go. Pack it deep, pack it hard, rotate for more, crank it down for more, reach through that other arm to the sky. Turn your chest forward now, stay in control, drive up hard, unpack yourself, open up that side we were just crunching down, and relax, come off. Cool. Awesome? Feel good? Feel things? You will have, if you do those before deadlifts, you will lift like a monster.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize how much that lat down there helps stabilize you on a deadlift. Man, you will feel so strong as you do that. As long as you don't do it too much. If you overdo it, you're just going to run out of batteries, like real fast.
Like that.
Yeah, just like that. All right, we're going to go face down one more time. Yep, one more time.
Do we need any props before I get here?
Yes, you do. Great question. Tennis balls in your hands. So now what we're going to do is straight arm axials from this face down position. So an axial is just think of it as just a clean rotation rather than doing the big controlled articular rotation where we move crazy. So if you guys want to look at Ashley right here as an example, so we're in like a big cross position. We're going to float the hands up to the sky, and as the hands are up, we're working on rotating deep into the joint of the shoulder as we go back and forth, is what we're going to do. Cool? Make sense? All right, so keep the forehead down. Try not to drive your forehead into the ground as we do this. As you get tired, a lot of the times we tend to do that. So just make sure it's not a heavy forehead drive. Okay, so stiffen some air. Pack your core. Legs are tight, body's tight, tennis balls are tight, elbows are straight. Float the hands up to the sky. And from here, just try to pull up a little bit more, just a hair, nothing crazy. And now I want you to turn your arms backwards for external rotation, like you're turning the biceps up to the sky. So you're gonna go the other way. Turn the biceps up to the sky. Just keep rotating backwards. Keep fighting that rotation. Trying to turn as much as you can. And now we're going to change directions. Turn from the shoulder as we try to rotate in through the shoulders. Don't let the shoulder blades go into a shrug. Just use your shoulder directly. Take it as far as it will let you. Gently fight for some more, and now change directions. Rotate backwards as much as you can. Flex deeply through the entire back of the shoulder and upper back. Everything is working together as we try to maximize all this stuff, and then change directions. Rotate. Don't let the shrug happen. All rotation in the upper arm. Give the tennis balls a tighter squeeze than you think so you're nice and stable through the joints. And change directions. Turn the bicep backwards. Big rotation. I know they're burning. Fight for it for a little bit more. Keep going. One more turn down and in. Take it as far as you can get it. Don't let the shoulder blades go into a shrug. Rotate all the way back. One last time. Turn way back. Big turn through the biceps. Reach the arms to the sky. One more time. Higher, higher. Bring them up. And relax. Cool. We're done, guys. We are done.